Alright, so you might remember two runs I did earlier in the week. This will be probably the best one of those three because it's the one I'm most practiced with. I'll be straight up. But yeah, I ran Splinter Cell 1 earlier in the week, and today I'll be doing the sequel today. Tonight I'll be doing the sequel, yeah. But with a twist though, because much like how the last run of Halo was on Legendary, here I'll be playing on Hard, to make things even harder on myself, and I'll explain more about that once I get the actual run going, because there'll definitely be time for it, but yeah. Anyway, we'll get straight into it. Yeah, the Sony Ericsson ad placement in this game is great. Yeah, I'm gonna load into the first mission here. Timing starts basically as soon as I start moving. So, 3, 2, 1. I'll be as ready as I'll ever be for this. Alright. Anyway, this is Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. Of course, we'll be running this on Hard. To give a bit of, or explain what Hard difficulty entails. Basically, compared to Hard, or Normal rather, on Hard, you take a lot of damage, so the enemies hurt a lot more. The enemies have a lot more health, so it's harder to kill them. And also, in addition to that, the alarms are a lot stricter. There's kind of a grace period mechanic in this game where if you stay stealthy for long enough and your alarm level is 1 or worse, the game will bring the alarm level back down to 0 to give you kind of a clean slate. On hard difficulty, that is not the case, or at least the alarm level goes down a lot slower than normal. So we pretty much have to be really careful going through these missions, which results in a bit of time loss compared to normal, because we have to take some slower strategies in order to get through these missions quickly. For the most part, though, the strats are the same. There's just some slight alternatives I have to do. So one thing you'll see a lot of in this run is AI manips. If you shoot in certain places and with certain timings, you can make guards path in a certain way, so you can avoid having to like stealth past them. That'll be used quite a bit throughout this run. So there's not much really to this first checkpoint, it's just like basic optimized platforming. We're gonna come up on a trick here, though, once I hit this autosave. Or I'm gonna jump twice. You're supposed to sneak up to this guy, but if you just run up to him and knock him out, you can go ahead and hit him there. You're meant to have a interrogation scene with that guy, but it's not really needed. So here we have the first really hard skip. Surprisingly, there are skips in this game, and we'll be doing one right here. There's supposed to be a conversation, or rather a sequence here, where we wait for a character named Sedano, who's one of the antagonists, to kill a hostage after a lengthy dialogue sequence. But by doing those jumps there, we can avoid that happening, or having to sit through that. That's actually a lot harder than it looks, because if you miss those jumps there at any point, you'll get seen by the guards as you do that last jump and instantly fail the mission. There'll be a lot of tricks like that where it seems mundane, but it's actually really hard to do, and it takes quite a bit of practice to get right. So once I get out of this room, you'll see me do, well, hopefully at least, do a piece of... Oh, that's bad. So I was a dum-dum. What I meant to do before entering that door was to do a quick save. But I was dumb and forgot to do that. And the reason I had to reload there is because I was trying to do a trick, and I accidentally rolled instead, which aggroed the enemy in that room. That's fine. That's whatever. There we go. Quick save right there. Alright, so as I go out of this room, you'll see me do a trick called crouch glitching. If you saw the Splinter Cell 1 run earlier in the week, you'll already know how that works, but in case you haven't, I'll explain it again. As I go through this room where a bunch of enemies are going to shoot me. Basically, how the crouch glitch, or crouch exploit works is, oh, hold on. Really hard dodge there. There we go. Those enemies can shoot you a lot, so that one hallway can be kind of scary. So basically for crouch glitching, you crouch and uncrouch a bunch while moving forward, and that messes with how the game determines if Sam is making noise, because in order for the game to determine that Sam is making noise, Sam has to take a full step forward, and by crouching and uncrouching a bunch like that, Sam does not take a full step forward, so we can utilize that to sneak past enemies. There is a catch to it though, because in this game they didn't really want you doing that. They keep you from doing it at full speed. So I have to move the scroll wheel to like 1 notch below full speed in order to be able to crouch glitch. It's just another thing to keep in mind while I'm going about doing the missions. So we just had that conversation with an NPC named Ingrid. She gives us information that will be critical for the next mission. And I also did an AI manip as I went across that courtyard. So, hold on, this enemy can be kind of scary. There we go. So I shot the wall behind the sniper who's behind the spotlight because he has night vision, and if you just try to run across the courtyard willy-nilly, he will shoot and kill you. So I just had to shoot the wall behind him to distract him so I could run across the courtyard. You're normally supposed to stay in the light of the spotlight to avoid being seen by the sniper, but that's really slow. And the alternative to doing that trick I just did at the sniper is to take tank damage from a turret and go a slightly slower route. That's not really feasible on this difficulty because of the amount of damage that we take. So now we're in the this cryogenics lab. We find out from the end of the previous mission that there's this guy named Morphied Penguin who's on the verge of starting a terrorist attack, and he's been doing some suspicious activities in this cryogenics lab here. So we're gonna investigate the lab to see what he's been doing. Right there, after I kill those 2 guards, I quick saved and quick loaded. It might have seemed like I just wasted time doing that, but there is a purpose behind it. Much like in Splinter Cell 1, this game has a system where once you leave a room, the game scans the room that you just left to see if there's any bodies that happen to be lying around. And if it finds a body, and that body is in bright light, the game will trigger an alarm automatically. For Splinter Cell 1, that's a problem because you can't really control it, but in this game, we have a way of getting around that. For some reason, quick saving and quick loading prevents those body checks from occurring, and we're not really sure why. My theory behind it is that when we quick save and quick load, like I just did right there, the game erases the bodies from memory, and so when the game does its usual body check routine, it doesn't find any bodies, and so it doesn't trigger an alarm. We use that a lot throughout the run, pretty heavily actually, because we can use that to circumvent the alarm system, which is normally meant to encourage the player to be stealthy, but obviously in this speedrun we're going to disregard the game's rules. That's especially important for some missions later that have a restriction where you can't trigger a single alarm whatsoever, or you'll fail the mission, kind of like Pandora Tomorrow, which is the first mission. So I had to kill those guards real quick. I had to be sure that I kill that second guard with rapid fire shots, because if I didn't kill him quick enough, he would trigger an alarm on me. There will be points like that in this run where I really have to be sure I kill a guard quickly enough in order for my alarm level to be good later in the mission. Which definitely causes some butt-clenching moments later. But I'm pretty consistent at this game, so hopefully they'll go well. Right. So right there is our first keypad code of the run. A nice perk of this game, since I'm playing on the PC port, is you can actually enter the codes for the keypad with the keypad keys on your keyboard. So you can enter the keypad codes really fast, which is one of many things in this game that makes it much faster than console, alongside the body check skip that I did before. You actually can do body check skips on console, you just can't do it as often. Because the only way you can actually do body check skips on console is by reloading a checkpoint, and the checkpoints on console are far and few in between, from what I remember. At least, I haven't played those versions. We also have one of our first lockpick sequences of the run. Much like in Splinter 1, they're in the same pattern every time, they're not random. So I just have to memorize which pattern the lockpicks are in and input the code quickly, much like the keypads. It's fine that I get an alarm there, because I'm pretty much right at the end of the mission, so doesn't really matter that I got that. Alright, so I'm going to do a very specific grenade throw here. Hopefully I get first try. Because it's rather precise on this particular difficulty. Oh, what? I didn't quite get it. So what I was trying to do there is do a strat where I throw a grenade in that vent, and what will happen is the guards in that area will be knocked out by the air conditioning breaking open, and by doing that I would avoid a couple of cutscenes where the guards outside this room try to break open the door to Codabuff's room here, Codabuff being the NPC we're talking to right now. So because that one guard was still alive, I don't know if this cutscene is going to play. It looks like it is, so I'm going to have to be somewhat careful here. I think if I shoot this barrel, I'll still be fine. I haven't had to do this in a while. Okay. This could be a little Monka-esque, because I've never had this situation occur. You know what? I'm just going to do safety strats and go back and heal. Oh no. Of all the things to have, and I can't go in there because the door's jammed. Oh no. Okay. Okay, we're fine. I lived on a pixel of health. Talk about close calls, man. I'm really on the second mission. Oh my god. So what I was meant to do there is, of course, I stun all the guards and I avoid having to shoot that explosive barrel. And doing it there was rather dangerous because I was on less than half health there, and those barrels do a lot of damage. It's okay though. We got out of there. So anyways, after our conversation with Codabuff there, we find out that the Mortified Penguin guy is this guy named Sauce. He is on this train that we're on right now. That's on its way to Paris, or Nice, France. And so we have to find Sauce on the train here and talk to him. This is a pretty scary mission, actually, for a speedrun. Because unlike every other mission in the game, where the norm is it has 2 to 3 checkpoints, this mission only has 1, which is at the very start, and so we pretty much have to rely on quick saves, and I guess hard saves later on, as a form of safety saves. And so if I get in a sticky situation that's impossible to get out of, that results in me having to reload an autosave, I will get sent back to the very start of the mission. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And even if it does, I have a autosave, or hard save rather, for safety, as I am playing on hard right now. So I have to knock out these 2 terrorists here that are disguised as patrons on the train. Now, you're supposed to shimmy along the side of the train car instead of knocking out these guards, but doing that is really slow, so I do that instead. going to shoot out these lights here so a guard in the upcoming hallway doesn't see me. Because I want to lure him into this room to knock him out, so he isn't an issue as I try to go down the train car. Unfortunately, I did the manip wrong. If you do this manip wrong, as you saw there, he'll just run over to the other side of the train car and trigger an alarm on you. And you obviously don't want that. Because like with some other missions in this game, this mission has that one alarm restriction I talked about before. So this is Soth. We're gonna have a few quick conversations with him. That's his escort right there. We can quick second click go through his dialogue. Hopefully I don't get a soft lock here. Alright, no soft lock. So, the soft lock is, if you remember that patron from before, that we kind of ran past, he can get stuck in between Soth and his escort there, and because he causes Soth and his escort to get stuck, they can see you while you're trying to hack the laptop there, which causes you to fail the mission. So upcoming at the end of this mission, there'd be a really long conversation between Soth here and Sedano, who we met before. But you can avoid that having to sit through that with an upcoming skip here. It's rather difficult, so hopefully I get it. Basically, I'm going to shoot these lights so Soth doesn't see me. And then run to the end of the train car here. Try to laser mic the conversation from there. I'm going to lure that guard over with a whistle. And laser mic the conversation. Until the Soth says most sad leak. Go up to the door and quick save and quick load. By quick saving and quick loading in that specific part of the dialogue, puts Soth's dialogue to a perfect point to where I can leave the mission without getting seen. Because if you do leave the train car too early there, after getting out of the laser mic with that audio cue, Soth will see you, which will cause you to fail the mission, because you'll get your cover blown, as the game says. So yeah, without that skip, this mission would be probably 6 minutes long, because you'd have to wait for the conversation to end, and then you'd have to wait for Soth and his escorts to leave the train car. Yeah, with that skip, you can avoid that. It used to be really hard in previous routes, but through some like strat revisions, that skip became a lot easier. Because what I used to do was shoot those lights in the train car from afar, which made the shots with the pistol there really difficult. So now we're in Jerusalem. If you've played this game casually, you'll know that this first checkpoint here is a huge pain, because these street guards like to pull an alarm on you a lot. But a mechanic with the street guards that you're seeing me utilize here is if you just give them a little love tap on the shoulder as you run past them, they won't pull an alarm on you, and instead they'll pull out their gun to try and shoot you, which makes going through this section really consistent. So this guy, Saul, here has our weapons, but two guys are trying to take him hostage, so we just kill him real quick there. Alright. So we just have to get our SC20K back here from Saul. Much like in Splinter Cell 1 and the CIA HQ, the game takes away your SC20K halfway through the game and has you retrieve it. So we just get it from that slot there. Gonna equip some ring airfoil rounds here because they'll be useful for killing a guard, or rather knocking out a guard when we go down the streetway. So I can just run past him without him spawning me down the alley here. These next two guards coming up, they used to be inconsistent, but I found a consistent way to deal with them. Because what you used to do was just run by them and hope and pray that you don't get shot, which is obviously not very reliable. So instead I shoot that first guy with a ring airfoil round, which stuns him for a bit, and then I shoot that second guard with a sticky shocker, which makes the guard fall to the ground. And I have to body check skip there, otherwise the body will get found by the other guard, and that would be no bueno. The other convenient thing about that is, in addition to getting past those two guards really consistent, it also makes it so you consistently get through that section with full health. The end checkpoint of this mission, the third checkpoint, is really scary if you have low health, so having high health for it is really good. And with that strat, you can get past that section with full health every time. Also, for whatever reason, if you just run to the wall here, you won't take fall damage from that, which is a little odd. But it works, so we use it. Alright, so we're going to talk with this NPC here, Dahlia Tal. Dahlia Tal is essentially a double agent of sorts for a local spy agency named Shinbet. She's important here because she is going to lead us to this elevator at the end of the checkpoint, which will lead to an underground lab where we're going to get a sample of something called the ND-133. The ND-133, which is the terrorist's main weapon of choice in this game, is essentially a bioweapon. It's a bomb where once it explodes, it will unleash a smallpox virus on the general populace within the immediate vicinity of the explosion. My ammo routing here is a little different. On previous routes, I would actually ring airfoil around that one guard I knocked out after that tunnel bit. But because I used the ring airfoil round earlier on that one guard in the alleyway, I have to improvise and do a different route. And that brings up another point in this game that I think actually gets overlooked a lot of the time when I explain this to other people, which is ammo routing. The ammo routing in this is very exact. By ammo, I mean the little gadgets on the SV20K. You need to use them in very precise spots, otherwise your ammo routing can get thrown off. And so if there's one spot later in the run where you need to use a gadget to take care of a guard, and you don't have it, you pretty much can't finish the run at that point. Or maybe you could, but you'd have to improvise real hard. Luckily I have the ammo route down to pat, so I don't need to really worry about misusing a gadget. And also in later missions, the gadget routing gets a little more lenient because we have a higher quantity of gadgets to work with. But for the first 4 missions, the gadget routing is rather tight. On hard especially, the gadget routing is even tighter than if I was running on normal. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's so bad. That is actually terrible. Oh, so what happened there is I forgot to do a body check skip after knocking out one of the guards. And the bad thing about doing that is, like a dum-dum, I tried quick saving to do a body check skip after knocking out that one guard, but I didn't realize what I had done. And because I unfortunately placed myself in that situation, I have to reload the autosave and start from the very beginning of this. That's fine though, because the estimate for this is very generous, so we should be fine still. That's a rather unfortunate thing about this game and Splinter Cell 1 from earlier in the week. If you get yourself in a bad situation like that, where you accidentally quick save while you get an alarm pulled on you or someone shooting at you to death, you're pretty much forced to restart the mission, because at the place you place the quick save, there's pretty much no way to get out of it without dying or failing the mission. I've gotten a lot better about doing that, but unfortunately, it reared its ugly head again there. That's fine though, because it just places me back here, so that only lost, I think, 2 minutes, so it's not terrible, but not ideal, nonetheless. I mean, I was already 2 minutes behind before that, so it's, like, whatever, but still. Hopefully none of the missions later in the run go like that. Alright, so remember to quick save and click load this time, and not forget to quick save like a dumbass. Hopefully the rest of the run goes out without a hitch, because that was a rather dumb mistake. Oh yeah, the longest mission is coming up after this. And there's actually two really scary skips where messing up, or quick saving, quick loading, or quick saving like that on accident would probably kill the run. So I quick saved right before doing that shot there because if you accidentally shoot at the wall there, it aggroes that guard and he pulls an alarm on you. And obviously, since he's so far away from you, you can't knock him out before he pulls an alarm. The way the alarm pulling in this works is they radio into their buddies and they say a line of dialogue. What that dialogue line is, I don't have it memorized. But yeah, they radio in, say their line of dialogue, and the instant that line of dialogue is finished, the alarm actually triggers. Which in this case will cause you to fail the mission. So even if they start to radio in to their buddies to try to pull an alarm on you, like that one guard did, you're fine, as long as you knock them out before their line of dialogue is finished. So this section is essentially an auto-scroller. Dahlia Tal, who we saw at the beginning of the checkpoint, she takes pretty much the same amount of time every time to get to the end of the checkpoint. So we just make a blitz to the end of the checkpoint, taking care of the guards along the way, and just wait for her to get here. So yeah, it seems like I lost probably 2 to 3 minutes because of that. Because I'm at like 6.5 minutes now. And she should get around the corner fairly soon. There we go. And I'm going to wait here on this door. Because it hasn't happened to me, but it's happened to another runner of this game named Director Music. Where sometimes, as she's walking through that little stretch right there, she can get stuck randomly and just not move. And at that point you're soft locked because you need her to get to this elevator for it to open. And you can't progress to the end of the checkpoint either unless you do a dialogue sequence with her. I was hesitating on whether or not to say that because I didn't want to jinx things, but yeah, we didn't get the soft lock. It's like 2 soft locks you can get in this game. So yeah, I've lost around 2.5 minutes because of that, which is rather unfortunate, but should still be underestimate, I think. Even with that time loss, we'll be like 8 minutes underestimate, assuming this rest of the run goes well. So I actually didn't shoot Dahlia Tal there. You have 2 options with what to do with Dahlia Tal there. You can either shoot or kill or not kill her. For a speed run, we want to not kill her, because if we kill Dahlia Tal, what'll happen is, if you remember those street guards from before, a group of 4 of those will spawn at the end of the mission, and the strat for that would mean we'd have to kill them with, or rather knock them out, with sticky shockers. And if that ended up happening, we'd have to do a really tight ammo route through the basement here. But by not killing her, instead of the street guards appearing, we instead get a group of snipers along with Dahlia Tal that spawn at the end of the mission, which are a lot easier to deal with because there's an AI manip we can do to get past the snipers, and it also makes the ammo routing here a lot more lenient. Grabbing the MD-133 there is scary. As you can see, I just got shot there because there's a guard right across from where I grabbed the MD-133. And if he decides to, he can just rapid fire his gun, which I call him having an ATB reset. Which is something the guards in the first 2 Splinter Cell games can do, just randomly. And he has a good chance of killing you there if that happens, but it didn't happen. And that one part is why you want really high health there, because if he does shoot you a lot, if you have high health, you don't have to worry as much about dying. See, I mentioned there's an AI manip we do to avoid the snipers. You'll see that in a moment, but first I have to shut these street lights here so I don't get seen by the snipers as I attempt to kill them here. So to start, I'm going to carefully sneak over, and then shoot this guard like that to avoid getting seen by him. So for the manip, I'm going to shoot that wall, quickly go over here, and then shoot this wall. That makes the guard suspicious, as you heard there. So they won't notice me sneak behind that pillar, and then run to the end of the checkpoint here. Alright. So we just quick save and click through the dialogue at the end there, and yeah, Jerusalem done. So we go into Condane Camp now, which is one of the probably the best mission in the game by this point. It used to be the most annoying mission in the game. Thanks to a recent, as I say 4 months ago, skip that was discovered by Sir Kirchu in the chat, we can avoid all of the auto-scores in this mission. The last 2/3 of this mission used to be very auto-score heavy, but we can now skip both of those auto-scores, which is really nice. This checkpoint has some different strats compared to what I do on normal. For example, on that very first guard, I normally just run past him and ignore him. But with hard mode, you can't really afford to get that extra alarm, so I just gas grenade him at the start there. Yeah, brand new strats. First, we just have to go through this checkpoint, which is just basically straightforward, running through this area. Also, another difference from normal, you'd run through this hangar and ignore those two guards, but I have to knock out or kill them there, and then get rid of the body check skip on their bodies. It's like a slight difference, but still like a decent bit slower, because I have to actually take time to shoot these guards as opposed to running past them. And also, every time I kill a set of guards, I'm going to quick save and quick load, just to be sure that I actually body check skipped their bodies. I have to make sure to shoot that dog on the head there, because if I shoot him anywhere else on his body, he'll get alerted and aggro the other guards in the level, which will cause me to get an alarm. Those two guards there used to be really inconsistent. A lot of the time I used to get an alarm every single time on that one particular spot. But if I shoot that guard who has kind of the black hair, we avoid that happening. Alright, so this is the first of the two skips. To start, I'm going to alert these guards here in this room in a particular way by running into the light there. And now that I've alerted those guards, I need to trail behind Sedano and his escort here. I need to be really careful when doing this too, because if they see me at all, I instantly fail the mission. And I had to do it with that specific AI manip, because if I just waited for the guards there, I wouldn't get ahead of them quick enough.
Any complications?
Alright, so I have to do a very particular set of movements here with my SC20K prepped. So I'll be a little silent for this to concentrate for it. I do have backup save if I screw this up, though, so we should be fine. I think that should be fine. So I had to line it up there to make sure I didn't get seen. There's a guard on the other end of this field, and if I didn't do that specific setup, I would have gotten seen by the guard, and that would have screwed things up later, because there's a conversation I need him to be there for, and if he's wandering around, that conversation won't happen. Looks like he's there though, so we're fine. So yeah, once the conversation starts, we can just quick save and quick load through it. If you listen through it, normally it takes a lot of time to sit through. So yeah, we got the info we need from that call. We just need to get to the end of the checkpoint now, since we're ahead of Sedano and his escort. There's a couple of guards in this room in particular that are kind of tricky, but they're not too hard. If I get one arm there, that should be fine. Because if I play well in this section, and my body check skips are good, I'll actually go back to 0 alarms once I get to the end of this checkpoint. But to do that, I have to shoot these 2 guards quickly enough. In that case, I got it. So if I kill those guards there in the right way, and I body check skipped right, we'll get to 0 alarms at the end of this checkpoint. What is going on? What is going on, dude? Okay, I guess I'm willing to back up. I have never had that happen before. Oh wait, that's the wrong checkpoint. I meant to load this one right here. Oh, that's in a later mission.
So I grab one and make him talk. No, we need to stay discreet. We can't afford to.
You can use your sticky cam to overhear the code.
Okay. Wait, why can't I let go of my weapon? What the hell?
You can use your sticky cam to overhear the code.
Okay, that was a weird thing that I've never had happen before as well. For some reason I was soft lock holding the weapon.
No, we need to stay discreet. We can't afford to have Sedano panic and skip a call. Use the sticky cam to overhear those conversations. Details on your outside.
You can use your sticky cam to overhear the code.
Okay. So what happened at the end there is I guess Sedano and his escort, as they were moving through the area, they saw the body somehow. Which I'm a little confused by, because usually, if you do exactly what I did there, it'll get to the end of the checkpoint, no problem. But for some reason, that happened. Yeah, that's fine.
How does it go?
That's fine, we just have to do this again. Rather unfortunate that happened, though. Given that that happened, I'm really nervous for the 3rd checkpoint of this mission now.
There's a colonial home overlooking the compound.
But hopefully that isn't as much of a sloppy mess.
Tomorrow phone call. That's where you'll need to be to tap it. Trail.
Okay, there we go. So we got 0 alarms that time, so they should be better. Yeah, timing in this area is really tight. If you don't get to the end of the area quickly enough, you fail the mission pretty much. I think with that we should be fine. I think we were a bit quicker there. Yes, okay, good. Finally! Got out of there. Alright, so this is where the new skip is. We'd normally have to do another one of those auto-score bits. We trail behind Sedano and his escort there. But we can avoid that, as you'll see in a moment. This used to be exclusive to segmented runs of this game because of how difficult it was. But again, Sir Kirchu in the chat came up with a very consistent method that you'll see me use in this room. So I shoot at that light there to alert that guard. So I can go over here, shoot a camera at this light, use the keypad, shoot this light as well. I'm going to shoot this light that's swinging right here. And what makes it hard to shoot there is that the light is constantly moving and you're trying to shoot it with a gadget as well on top of that. Oh no. This could be bad because I messed up with my gadget routing. We'll see though. I'll improvise. I promise. Oh wait, I can't do that. That's right. Oh shit. Okay, so I'm gonna have to load an autosave again. Or not an autosave, but a hard save I made. So I was a dum-dum and accidentally used ring airfoil rounds when I needed to use them to knock out those 2 guards right there. That's fine. I can just load this backup save. That does have ring airfoil rounds. So yeah, you can see we have ring airfoil rounds there, so we're good. Uh-oh. Come on. Hit the light, please. Thank you. Oh my... Please get the goddamn ladder! Okay. It's gonna be a bit tighter now, because Sedano was really damn close to me, as you can see there. Usually you're up the ladder by the time he's at the base of the ladder, but I was a bit too slow for whatever reason. Because I'm bad, I guess. So I sticky shock that guard at the end there, and then headshot that one guard. So yeah, by doing that bit of specific movements and shots I did in the room, we can just run straight to the end of the checkpoint. That's Sedano's safe house here. This is where we're going to listen in on some of his phone calls. The plot of this game, by the way, is Sedano, who we've come across in the plot so far, is actually the leader of this terrorist ring that's organizing an attack with the ND-133s that I mentioned before. And so we're listening in on some phone calls he's having here to get an intel on where the ND-133s are, so we can track them down and confiscate them. Okay. So we shoot that camera there so we don't get seen as we crouch glitch behind Sedano here to use the laptop. We need to interact with the laptop here to get to the end of the mission. Alright, so hopefully no soft lock, now that, because I kind of messed up the skip earlier. Alright, no soft lock. The soft lock that can happen there is you'll fail the mission because you somehow get seen, and that as you run after interacting with the computer there. And thankfully it didn't happen, but I was able to avoid it by just shooting lights outside the safe house. That's really the gist of it. And I'm gonna stick around here for a moment, because there's a fun thing with these guards. So, but I throw a flashbang here. Normally, a character named, Shetland is supposed to send in some reinforcements that'll take care of these guards for you, but you can just throw a flashbang to stun them. And an interesting side effect of doing that is the guards just sit here stunned, and if you try to knock them out like this, they shoot at you with an invisible gun. And then they go down the second time. So yeah, they just kind of sit there while you finish the mission. So yeah, that entire mission went sloppily, but I have faith that we'll still finish Underestimate, despite that. Alright, so this is the Komodo shipyard. It's pretty much more straightforward running, hope you don't get caught. There's one particular part right here that can be kind of annoying, though. I'm gonna try to go first track here, where I go through this door without triggering an alarm. I'm gonna go for it. Alright, well, heck it. So what I was trying to do there is crouch and kind of edge myself through that doorway. So that way the guards in that area don't see me, and I can go through here without getting an alarm. And doing that is rather dangerous because by doing that you aggro the turret that's in this area. And the turret does a lot of damage to you. What? How do you already see me there? I'm stumped. How did he see me there? There we go. Okay. Nonetheless, we took care of that guard. I wanted to be sure that I have 1 out of 3 alarms going out of this area. Because for normal difficulty, you just tank all the alarms possible. Because in normal, Once you get to the bottom of this elevator, the alarm level goes down to 0 because of the grace period mechanic that I talked about before, but for hard that doesn't happen, so you just have to you want to make sure that you get to the elevator with just 1 out of 3 alarms. Because what happens when you get to the different alarm stages is, obviously if you get to 3 out of 3, you fail the mission. If you get to 2 out of 3, or rather 1 out of 3, the guards put vests on, which just makes it so it takes more body shots to kill them. And if they get to 2 out of 3 alarms, they put helmets on, which is really bad, especially for hard, because with hard difficulties, since the enemies have a lot more health, you pretty much rely a lot on headshots to kill guards, and when they put helmets on, it becomes very hard to kill them. Wow, did that really happen to you, Kirchu? Oh my god. That's stupid. So apparently, according to Kirchu, the sniper can kill you from the elevator. That's interesting.
Garrett, what's going on? We weren't supposed to surface for another 4 hours. Garrett, are you there? Answer me if you're there. Otherwise, I'm pulling the alarm.
Tell him we're kosher.
What?
Tell him nothing.
So I'm gonna wait for an audio cue here.
Okay.
Because you're supposed to sit through... Oh wait, actually, I have to listen for it. Okay. So I had to wait until Garen said soon within that line of dialogue, because if you kill him too early there, or rather knock him out too early there, you failed the mission. So we had Garen there raise a sub because there's a computer on this submarine coming up that will reveal Sedano's location, so we can go and confront him once and for all. And to get to that submarine, we'd have to take this tram right here. But taking the tram is slow because, as you can see, it moves very slowly. So instead, I'm going to zip line on the track that the tram takes to get to the submarine instead. It's a lot faster. I don't have specific time metrics, I just know it's a lot faster.
That's everywhere I go.
I'm going to do a small time saver here where I ready out my SC20K and try to grab the ladder on my way down. Just skips a tiny bit of climbing there. Double ring airfoil around that guard. If you hit a guard with 2 ring airfoil rounds in quick succession, it will not cause the guard to knock or fall down to the floor. It basically has the same effect as if you sticky shock the guard, which is a useful strat for both speedruns and casual play. I'm gonna go to the left corner of the doorway here, shoot the hall down there, to distract that guard, so I can quite literally get him from behind and grab him, so I can use him to open this retinal scanner here. You'd normally have to lure him into that room on the far side of the hall, and it's a lot slower. MLG Pro sticky shocker shots on those guards. That second one can actually be kind of tricky because the guard's really far back in the room, but it's not too hard. So we've killed Sedano, or we haven't killed Sedano, but we found out where his location is, which is Jakarta, Indonesia. So that's where we're going to go next. So we're going to take a boat to get there. There's a problem that comes up though. There is a lot of guards on this dock leading to the boat, and they're a big problem actually when you do a casual playthrough because they shoot at you a bunch, and their shots collectively do quite a lot of damage, especially on this difficulty. Didn't notice that guard there for a moment. But what you can do to deal with them in a quick and safe fashion is go behind cover here and shoot these barrels. By shooting those barrels, it causes them to explode and instantly kill all of the guards. So you can just take care of them really quickly like that. So coming up is a really hard skip. If I do fail it, I do have backup save, like I did in Kundang, so don't worry. But we're going to do a really cool trick here, and I think it's, personally, it's my highlight, it's the highlight of the run for me, outside of the Kundang 3 trick I did before. So this section is normally very long. I'm talking like 4 to 5 minutes long if you do this normally. But if you do this trick I'm about to do, you can avoid doing all that entirely. To give you an idea, in this mission, to get to the end of the checkpoint, and this first checkpoint, you'd have to take a really long route through some sewers, and then avoid some landmines, and then you get to the end of the checkpoint. But with this trick I'm about to do, you can avoid doing that. Basically what I'm going to do is, after I go through this section where I take care of these guards in a somewhat stealthy manner, there's this van that goes on a set path, and I'm gonna try to follow that van. And I have to do it really quickly because there's a gate that's the truck, or van rather, is gonna get past. Headlight guard. And if I don't get past the gate before the gate closes, I'll be forced to take that slower route I was talking about. No, Sam, why are you doing that? So I was trying to open the door there and I accidentally used the snake cam, which is kind of bad. Oh no, why are you doing this, man? Of all the things I got, of all the things to kill the run, I wasn't expecting it to be headlamp guard. Okay, there we go. So occasionally you can get a headlamp guard there, and it's really tough because you have to avoid him, but you also have to go through that area rather fast. Come on. There we go. Alright. So I just need to gas grenade those two guards right there. And that'll take care of them real quick there. Oh no. I don't think I made it in time. Oh, are you serious? Well, luckily I have this backup. I'm just going to load that because I don't want to waste any more time going for that skip. Because I would have had to go back to the beginning of the checkpoint again and waste a shit ton of time. But yeah, essentially what I was going to do there is get to the gate before it closes. And I would have been able to get to the end of the checkpoint really fast. For reference, the safe route, or intended route I mentioned before, it takes around 5 minutes, but with that strat or at least that strat I tried to do, you can get to the end of the checkpoint in like less than 2 minutes. It's really quick. Unfortunately, I had to load a backup save there because I was already extremely close to estimate with the mistakes I made before, and I didn't want to get any closer to it.
How much this would be amazed.
Unfortunately, I also ended up wasting some more time because I accidentally activated some extra dialogue with Ingrid. I'll admit, right now I'm rather upset that those mistakes happened earlier, but because I really want to do like you know, a near flawless showing, but that's the thing with Pandora Tomorrow when you try to run it at all in marathons. Something that you don't expect to go wrong goes wrong, and in the worst possible way, as you saw earlier. Oh, I think the reason oh, I'm so stupid. So, I just realized now, the reason I was unable to get past the gate is because I took time to go in my inventory and ready the flare, and I didn't actually have time to. What was I doing just there? Oh my god. Things are spiraling out of control. So, because I was focusing on trying to explain what went wrong in the first checkpoint, I forgot to equip sticky shockers, which I meant to use on that guard at the end of the hall. already in the door. That's rather annoying. Oh, come on, you dick. No, you don't. Alright, so there's these 3 guards, as you can see, that are going through these double doors. And I have to kill them with some rapid fire shots there. The thing is, while I have a rapid fire mode on my gun myself, they also have rapid fire on their guns, so they can do a lot of damage to you really fast.
I'm getting a glut of side chatter about escape route.
So yeah, that section was the definition of spilt spaghetti, but we got past it.
If he gets out, he'll either vanish or be killed.
So moving on from that, there's an interesting trick that we do here at the end of this mission. So what's going to happen at the end of this mission is there's a group of guards surrounding Sedano, who's in this TV studio that's just on the other side of this vent. And you kind of have one of 2 ways of taking care of Sedano. You can either run up right up behind him, or take care of the guards before you grab him. I opt for the run behind and grab him method because it's a lot safer. And for some reason they're shooting at me there. When you grab Sedano from behind like this, or once you grab him, the guard has like an AI pattern to them where, or I guess some sort of programming with them, where once you grab Sedano, they are supposed to not shoot you. So you don't have to worry about dying as you walk to the end of the mission here. Because it would kind of suck if you grab Sedano during that whole stretch and you get shot by one of the guards and die while you're trying to take him to the end of the mission.
That's right. And the helicopter too. Keep Sedano conscious until you make visual contact.
The game can crash if they shoot one of the TVs. Yeah, that's another problematic thing that can happen there. For some odd reason though, I haven't had it happen to me.
We're arranging to sweep up after you're gone.
We're not in the clear yet. Get Sedano to the roof. Ingrid's waiting.
Alright. So once the dialogue with Ingrid there starts, I'm going to knock Sedano out. I'm going to quick save and click load for a funny thing I'm going to do in a moment. Alright, so I'm going to go in here, die right there, and oh no, I'm dead! You would think the run's over, but I'm actually fine. So the reason that worked, even though it looks like I died, is because I quick saved and quick loaded through the end of through the dialogue sequence there between Sam Fisher, who's the player character of this game, and Ingrid.
It should open a small window of
And I did that before the death animation finished.
respecting my
What happens when you finish the conversation with Ingrid there is that the game essentially sets a flag that says you have completed the mission and you can proceed to the next mission. And because I quick saved and quick loaded to the end of that conversation before the death animation finished, that flag was set before the death animation finished. So I was able to finish the mission there while dying at the same time, pretty much. And it looks really silly. It's a neat little trick there you can do for fun. So now we're in LAX. Stockton we mentioned before, for some reason or another, has decided to take one of the ND-133s from before for his own malicious purposes, and he decides to unleash that, a bomb, onto the LAX International Airport. We obviously don't want that to happen because there would be quite a few casualties as a result of that. So we're going to try to catch him. There's a problem that occurs though. In order to prevent his plan from being stopped, he sends 9 mercenaries disguised as airport employees to prevent him from being spotted by Sam. And so we have to take care of those terrorists here. As I said, there's a total of 9 we have to kill. And this section is actually really tough for a casual playthrough, because you have to pick out which employees are terrorists and which are the normal employees. Come on. This particular shot is really tough, so I'm probably going to miss it a lot. So unfortunately I got a really bad pattern there. There's two guard patterns that one guard can have. He can either walk really close to you to meet up with that other airport employee, or he can walk really far to the other side of the room there. And unfortunately he walked to the other side of the room. So I had to get a really hard pistol shot. It's probably actually the most difficult pistol shot in the entire game, if I'm being honest. So yeah, we had to do that one room there, where we kill those terrorists, and it's really hard, as you can see, especially if you got that bad pattern that I got, because you have to do a lot of really precise shots to hit those guards, and what makes them so precise is if you miss one of those shots and say shoot at the wall, you will aggro the guards and cause them to radio into their buddies, which will cause you to fail the mission. Also, are you serious? Oh my god, that guy gave me a really trolley pattern as well. What is this game doing to me? At this point, I'm going to be overestimate, because, you know, video games. Sam, you idiots! What are you doing? Again, try to use the door. He used the snake cam instead, because he's a moron. This game hates me. I mean, if that wasn't evident before, it is now. This game freaking hates me. So first what happened is I was trying to knock out these two guards in the hallway. Unfortunately, that one guard, or that one enemy at the end, or NPC rather, ran a little early and got to the alarm there before I could shoot him. So I was forced to load the autosave. And for the second time I had to reload the autosave. I accidentally used the snake cam. And when I meant to open the door, which is what I did before in a previous mission. Oh my god, why is that guy going over there? Anyway. So I also quick saved and quick loaded right there after killing that last terrorist because I needed to make sure that the dialogue was over before I do that strat in that one room. Because a fun thing with this game is that the dialogue from Sam Fisher's team, as well as the alert dialogue, it takes priority over pretty much everything else in the game, and that includes the ability to whistle. There's actually a whistle button in this game where you can press it and play an audio clip that will make the guards suspicious, so you can like sneak behind them and knock them out, you know. And if I had the dialogue going while I was in that room, I wouldn't have been able to whistle, and that would have thrown off my strat there. So we have one final boss sequence coming up. You'll see it at the end of the mission. But you'll see me do a weird thing here, which is I'm climbing this pole at an angle. This will allow me to skip a platforming sequence in this elevator shaft here. I don't know how you're supposed to do it normally, because I actually haven't done this area normally in a long time. So, I'm going to do an out of bounds here, sort of. I'm going to land on the railing of this catwalk, which will allow me to get here quicker, which will give me a better vantage point for this boss fight here. Which is a boss fight between Soth and two of his henchmen. I'm going to shoot that first guard. It's pretty easy because he just lines up the shot for you pretty much. I'm going to try to shoot these remaining two guards. This last one is pretty hard to kill because he really likes to run around the arena. But thankfully he just decided to chill there. And time was when I lose control in about 2 seconds. It's finally over. That was a giant train wreck. Jesus. It's like I said during Jakarta, this game just gives you bullshit when you try to run it in a marathon, and that happened here. Like, for frick's sake, man. And what made it even more annoying as well is I was trying to explain crap in the latter half of the mission. I made so many fucking mistakes that it just threw off my explanations, so I had to like roll the punches as best as I could. But yeah, regardless, we still finished underestimate. That was a 103 on my end, a 103.08, but I'm curious what the time was on stream. Yeah, exactly. This game just gives you terrible luck. Especially on this difficulty, where it's a lot riskier. So yeah, what is the time currently at?